Welcome to Literarily Wasted.
Hi.
What's up?
Hey, everybody. It is the first discussion of, what is the month of this?
It's November.
November. We're in November. Thanksgiving is next week.
Ooh, stop.
But
That's crazy.
before we start stressing out about that, we're going to discuss the first half of N.K. Jemisin's The City We Became. This is up to chapter 9, right?
Yep.
So if you read beyond that, no spoilers past that point, please. We are asking nicely.
Do you see it?
You have to sing Ashley's name.
Yeah, that's part of the song. Oh, it's doing some. Oh yeah. You can Google Lens the cover, and it does some fun stuff too. But Talia, who's here?
I'll tell you who's here.
Don't forget to sing Ashley, because Ashley is watching with Natalie.
Hi, Kristen and Tammy and Kit and Stacy, Brenda, Cindy and Jen. Sorry. Hi, Lucas and Brandy and Tim and Jeff, Kira and Martin and Kent. Hi, Jennifer, Carrie and Kelly and Spare and Matt and Adrian, Rachel. Hi, Martin and Julie and Brandy and Natalie and Kristen, Martin, Natalie, Ashley, Martin, Matt, Sean, Lee and Jeff and Adrian.
And Ashley.
Yeah,
I
she got
did.
Ashley.
Oh,
That's dedication for Natalie. I think is doing like book signings and stuff out in
And Mariah.
Vegas.
I'll put this on the screen.
Hi.
Ashley's watching with Natalie from Vegas.
Natalie, it's shameless self promotion. Tell everyone in the comments what you're doing.
Yeah, what are you doing?
She's
What are you
out signing
doing?
books. There's like a
And
book
Tim.
thing at Bally's, I think.
We and
Zeddy, the best boy.
This is Big Zeddy. Big
Big
Zeddy
bud.
normally is in the basement and does not participate in book discussions, but tonight he's upstairs. He just grunted. Okay.
How
Yeah,
about
it's
that?
a writer conference.
Ooh.
That's cool. Have fun. But you're here for the most important thing, which is Literarily Wasted. So before we get into this discussion, Christy, I noticed you have a recap on that piece of
A
paper. you're
little
holding.
bitty recap. Okay. Manny, Brooklyn, and Padmini are together in Brooklyn. Brooklyn has just received eviction notices for her 2 properties. Bronca and Aislinn are alone for the moment. Each person is being attacked or approached by the woman in white. They have all fought her off except Aislinn. Manny and his gang are going for Bronca in the morning, and Sao Paulo is going for Aislinn. And clearly I am having a hard time with her name.
Island?
Aislinn?
Because it's like Staten Island.
Aislinn, I think. in the
I'm not
audio
listening
book.
to it. But anyway, so if you're just tuning in to that, basically we've got the boroughs. Hey, Bill.
Bill's here.
Hey. So all of the boroughs of New York has come alive. It has been born.
But something went wrong.
We're going to figure out what that means. Something went wrong. It got attacked, and the human embodiment of New York stopped the attack, but then was incapacitated. The visitor from Sao Paulo, Brazil, the embodiment of that city, has visited and is now like
trying to mentor.
trying to find the boroughs, the people who embody the boroughs of the city, so as they can join like Captain Planet's Planeteers.
That's
You just say so's they can join.
So as they can join like Captain Planet's Planeteers. They're like Manhattan, Bronx, Staten Island, Brooklyn.
With our powers combined, we are
Queens.
New York City.
We are New York. And then they can take down this woman in white who has manifested all these little tendrils and spiders and things to that some people can see and some people can't see, with the ultimate goal to destroy the city and the people. And it is, yes, is that it? I don't know.
that's
That's
it.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That's the city we became, and it's literally people who became or becoming a city. I actually did not think it to be a literal
Yeah, I didn't either.
interpretation of the title.
It's not a metaphor.
It's
The city we
That's-
became New York City.
Yes, literally, in some cases. So,
And
anybody's
literally.
Facebook video not working? I think some people's are.
No, I've got it up on my phone. It's
troubleshoot
working
it.
here.
But yeah,
You're okay. You're on YouTube now.
but Okay, there's the beyond summary of what's going on.
What does everybody think?
Yeah, what do y'all think so far?
And are you confused?
Do you want to go first?
Sure. I'm not confused. I mean, this is a very
I feel like you
different-
need to say that again and sell it a little more, though.
No, okay. I'm not confused. This is just a very different book than we've read before. And it's a very different book than I have normally read. And I'm really enjoying that part of it. Like, I think it's really fascinating. I love that it's in like modern day. And I love that, like, it's just so unique and creative. I'm really enjoying it. And I can't wait to see what happens. It was hard to stop reading.
Oh, if you're trying to find the Facebook video from the event page, there's like 2 different event pages. There's the one Talia made at the beginning of the month to promote the events, and then when I scheduled the live stream, it created another one. Also, it made 2. It was weird. Something glitched with StreamYard. So if you go to the Literarily Wasted Facebook page, you should see it on there.
Oh, and Ashley said she's very confused, but this is quite different than any other Jemisin. And yeah, it is. I've read a couple of her things, and this is very, very different than what I've read from her, and it's pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, if you got those old red blue 3D glasses, check it out. Try it on the cover. I
Ooh,
Google lensed it. It was animated.
I have some downstairs.
So who's next?
Who's next?
I'll go. Okay. I am confused. And like you said, this is not like anything that I've read before. So it's just taking me a while for it to click. It's like normally, like when there's books that are different, it takes a while for me to like figure out the rhythm of this book.
Yeah.
I still have not found it yet. That being said, there are a lot of things that I like about it. I do like that it's definitely pushing me. Like this is not an easy read for my brain, which honestly proves to me that my brain needed some exercise. So I like that it's different. I like that it's pushing me. I'm still convinced that I will hit the point where it clicks. So I'm not giving up. And I'm not going to say that I don't like it. I just haven't gotten there yet. I think the concept is really creative. I do think it probably helps. It's like kind of reads like a love letter to New York right now. And so I feel like maybe it helps if you have a love for New York. And I don't. But I'm still interested to see where this is going. I also hope that it's more than just a culmination of like them battling their way through and then they save the city and there's not like more meat to it, I guess. But it is definitely different, and I'm gonna keep chiseling away until I can find where it clicks for me.
Yeah, it's I'm struggling with it a little bit. Parts of it are honestly kind of hard for me to read and get through. I like that there's, it's a big, diverse cast. There's some stuff that bugs me of like, I know I should willingly suspend my disbelief and that this is just happening, but everyone seems to just like go with this really easily. That like, if there was a bridge that was destroyed in New York City, that would be like the whole city would be in a kerfuffle, for lack of a better term, and everyone's just kind of like going about their day. That would be a huge event, and so there's some stuff that's just.
But there's also aliens. They're not aliens, but I'm gonna call them aliens.
So I like the concept, and I agree with Talia. Like, I've been to New York City. I could not really tell you the most time I've spent in New York City is in the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man game, and so that doesn't do it justice. And I don't. I mean, I joke, but at the same time, I don't have this deeper knowledge of what makes the Bronx the Bronx and what makes Manhattan Manhattan and Staten Island Staten Island. I couldn't even tell you how to get from one to the next. I just know that
Gotta take
the
the ferry.
is up and the battery's down.
Squiggly.
I
like that.
So
Squigglies.
I feel like if I had a deeper appreciation and love of New York or lived there, that this would register way more deeply with me. But it's just kind of going over the surface, and I'm like, I get it. There's different boroughs, but again, I like the concept. Parts of it are a bit hard for me to get through, and I do hope it is a little deeper in the end than just like, great, they get together and now it's New York and it's living, breathing city, and there we go. We did it.
Y'all are making me want to ring Constantine based on he just
Ooh,
has
I
sex
like-
with everything.
I like Julie's comment.
This one.
Yeah.
So I like the book. I like the book. I like the book. I like the concept. I think I like what I think I know about the concept. At its sort of base, it's easy to kind of summarize like we just did, but it's like it like everybody else is saying, it took me a while to get into it. It's just so different and such a different way of like personification and like fantasy and whatever, that like it's taken me a minute to adjust to what this book is, but I think I like it. And so far, like, but we've read the first half of the book, and I still feel like we've just been introduced to everything.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
like,
we're still being introduced to the characters. I
and-
think we just got through the last like main character chapter.
yeah, and so like we're halfway
It's
through,
just now happening.
and I still feel like we're beginning the story, and that I think is why it's taken me so long to get into it, is because it actually is taking a long time to get into it.
Yeah.
And like the getting into it is very like formulaic like in the sense that like we're introduced to a character, they come across like this villain, and then we figure out how they battle it back for the first time or whatever. And like it's very sort of like introduction, battle, find out more about them, they realize who they are, and then maybe they meet somebody at the end. So it's been kind of like repetitive up to this point in terms of just structure of each bit. I mean, we are learning a little bit more about who these people are and like what makes them them, and like I'm learning a little bit about New York, because like everybody else is saying, like I've been there, and I actually really, whenever I'm there, like I do like there's something about it that just I really like about it. But like
Sbarro pizza, isn't
it's
it?
that Sbarro. But like, and so like, I can get the charm of New York, but I don't know like what makes the boroughs the boroughs. Like I couldn't tell you what makes Brooklyn different from Queens. I've seen King of Queens with Kevin James, but
Then you know all about it.
So
I've seen West Side Story.
yeah, I've seen Ghostbusters.
You also played the Spider-Man.
I also
game.
played the Spider-Man game.
Spider-Man
And,
game. I've spent a lot of time in New York City, like
Yeah.
40
New York
hours.
is a major character in Ghostbusters.
Did you
So
say 4?
40.
this is
Oh,
we
the
got to take a
game,
picture.
'cause-
Oh no, you were frozen and Talia were like this.
That's yep.
But so we're learning about these people. We're learning about like a little bit about the boroughs and kind of what makes them them, and as they sort of personify by the character. Then we have this one character who actually like the old Bronca. She's like the wise old lady who knows that they can actually manipulate the whole city. That was really cool for me. That was a cool moment when she's like making the river flick her friend off. But it's wild, and like I'm hoping that when we get like everybody else is saying, that when we get into the second half, it
I wanted to snowball.
it changes things. We like, and this is kind of a big book, and the chapters are long. Oh my gosh, they're long.
Yeah.
So
I will say I like the structure of the chapters with the interruptions. So those interruptions giving us a peep into
Mhm.
what
Like-
is happening with Paolo. Like
Mhm.
I agree.
I like how that was structured. And I like another thing, but I'm sorry, I interrupted. Keep
And
going.
but there's this whole like sort of tease of this multiverse and like who is this woman in white. You know, there's a lot of political social commentary in here, which is really good, really cool and interesting. So I'm here for the ride. It just took me a little while to figure out what ride I was on, and I'm still not really sure.
Yeah.
I feel like we all kind of said like, well, and y'all said it, and I feel it. Like, I wish I knew New York better because this is a love letter to New York. I thought the same thing when you said that, and I want to know how long she's lived in New York, first of all, and also, have any of y'all like lived in New York? Do any of y'all have a bigger connection than us? And like, is this book hitting you differently?
I know, isn't she from Mobile, Alabama, or she has ties
I
from
don't know.
Mobile? Well, AL.com just did an article on her because her new book released, and she's got either heavy family ties from Mobile or something. But yeah, it kind of makes me think of some of the Doctor Strange stuff of this like unseen world that some people can see, some people can't, but there's this whole battle waging around us kind of thing.
Like that part.
I do too. So I wonder.
I also like that you don't have to be someone who was like born and living in New York your whole life to be a New Yorker. That there's a different like that, like with Manny, that it's like your desire to be there, to be part of the city, to be part of this engine. Like I appreciate that because I think I would be kind of like disappointed if it was like, oh, all the people that can protect the city, that can be part of it, well, they all had to have like grown up there, and like then it was more like an insider versus outsider kind of thing. And I really appreciated the part where it's like, it doesn't matter if you're there for 5 minutes or 5 years. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I also, along the same lines, loved that N.K. Jemisin explained why some of these were chosen as the embodiment of the boroughs. Like, because with Manny's whole chapter, I was like, he just got there. Why is he representing Manhattan? And then, like, at the end, she explained it. And I really, really appreciated that because I was a little lost there.
He also lost all of his memory. Unlike everybody else, he's the only person that has lost.
Well, it sounds like that was a good thing because I think he was a terrible person.
He's got some shady past,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
So,
Brandy wants to know who your favorite character is.
Who's your favorite character?
That's a good question, Brandy. I don't know if I have one, but I really want to see a movie adaptation of the rap battle like attack thing.
Like it's Elite Beat.
Like
Agents.
yeah, it's like Elite Beat. I want to see that. I kind of liked. Was that Brooklyn?
It was Brooklyn.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know if I have one just yet.
Who was the young lady in the beginning that drove the checker taxi?
Madison.
I like
kind of funny.
I like that she instantly was like, all right, and just driving all crazy. And it's like, let's charge on in.
The rapper.
Someone else mentioned
it's all in the mind.
The guy who gave Manny a card and was like, just let me know if you need a place to stay or a meal or anything.
And go eat a banana. That is the epitome of parent advice. Like, you don't look great. You should go eat a banana. Like, that is.
Yeah, I liked Bronca a lot, and I also like Queens. Yeah. I really liked Queens fighting with equations.
Oh my gosh, that was so cool.
It was bizarre, and I don't know how it worked out, but somehow she made that child slippery.
Well, and I love how she like did the math to be able to go through walls and stuff.
The way she moved
and the way it was written
downstairs,
I thought very effective. I really liked
like
that.
she put in like the no clip code, and it was just like going through the walls.
Yeah,
cheat code.
Yeah, that goes with the same thing, Christy. Like you were saying, like they each have their own reasons for why they embody that borough, but I also like that they each have their own ability and how that applies to them and their borough and how they can utilize it. Like.
I think it's too early for me to have a favorite. I'm kind of enjoying everybody. I really want to learn more about Manny, actually. I don't know he's a favorite, but I really want to know more about him.
Yeah, they planted those seeds for sure.
Yeah, they definitely did.
They can fight with concepts. Yeah, there are all the different ways that they attack their villain have been interesting, except for, I guess, Bronca's encounter was just kind of a battle of wills, right? That was, she
I
just kind of
think so.
willed the
That's what
toilet,
she did in the bathroom.
willed the toilet lady away.
With the toy, yeah. That was an interesting.
But she got a
scene.
glimpse into another dimension or something like that.
Mhm.
I liked
Right?
Ashley's comment about, Mandy's roommate. Is it Belle? What was his name? He says,
So,
even after
yeah.
this, you're still not my worst roommate. And I was like, whew.
I think
Yeah.
that to the same point, these other people who were seeing these little tentacles, they're way too like accepting of this. Like I feel like they're just like, oh, okay, this is happening.
Okay, so here I thought about that too, because I was like, I'm pretty sure if I saw a translucent floating tentacle sticking out of the back of someone's head, my brain would break. Just gone. Not helpful in any way. If I saw these crazy things happening. So my only thing that I can think of is this is New York. These people see crazy things all the
That's
time.
all
So
the
I
time.
think we're just
all the time.
There you go.
all the time.
Yeah, we have to do this whole live stream from New York.
All the
New York
time.
accents.
Oh, I cannot.
Forget about it.
Apparently, you cannot either.
Forget about it.
Burn.
What's interesting about the New Yorkness of it all is that like they got evicted at the end, and
Oh
it's
my
from
gosh!
like
Yeah.
the Greater New York, or the Better Bureau
Betterment
for Better New
of-
York, or
yeah,
something like that.
The Better New York
The
Foundation.
Better New York Foundation, which
I think that's the bad lady.
yeah, it's got to be the bad lady.
Yeah.
It's like
Well, the bad lady like works in mysterious ways, right? Like she sent that painting that was a trap, and
it was a portal.
yeah,
It was
so-
alive people. They were like live. It was like
it was like a
alive
portal into a different
people.
like dimension, right? Or like a different timeline, not timeline. What's it?
Universe.
Universe. there we
Parallel
go.
universe.
Yeah. Parallel universe.
They were like painting people. But
Some people are talking about the audiobook, and the narration is fantastic. And normally I don't like sound effects in audiobooks, but they do it really effectively in this book. Like
Really?
when someone receives a text, you get the text sound, which I thought was really cool. Whenever someone's like talking,
Sorry.
I'm
We're
listening.
laughing at
They're
Matt.
ignore them.
Matt's on fire tonight.
that's what the video.
but
game-
whenever they like have a conversation like with that voice in their head, it's like echoey. Like it's, I don't know, they just do some really
Oh,
cool
some sound
stuff.
design.
Yeah, and the narrator is really great too.
I feel like that would help a lot. That kind of makes me want to listen to some of it.
Hey, Katie, welcome back.
Hi.
I mean, I guess it is kind of a different experience. And you let me listen to like the intro.
Oh yeah,
of
the intro
audiobook,
to the
which is-
audiobook is super
that
cool.
Creepy. Yeah.
It really like set the tone
It does.
for
wanna
everything. It was
hear
like a
it.
glitchy, like "Welcome to New York," like an MTA
And
And,
announcement.
and the music over it, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty great.
Well, now I kind of want to listen to it.
The audio distortion. So the woman in white here. Okay, so I think this is, and I saw people had this question in the discussion topics. The woman in white. What's
What's her deal?
the deal?
The Queen of the Squigglies.
The queen of the squigglies, indeed.
I
Like, what is it? Why is she, and what is she doing?
don't know.
Why
Oh, yeah.
is her?
Adrian asked, "What is the end goal of the white tentacle monster? To stop cities becoming entities, to conquer humans, to kill all the humans and destroy Earth, to destroy the realm Earth occupies?" Let's see.
Yeah.
The white tentacle monster shows up when a city is becoming an entity, or a city becomes an entity to fight when the white tentacle monster comes.
Chicken or the egg?
Oh, these are all from Adrian about the white woman in white. Let's see. Why does the white tentacle monster suck at strategy if it's so all-knowing and humans are stupid? Like, just take over all the people in the edges of the boroughs, and by the time Manny, Brooklyn, etc., figure out what's going on, they are vastly outnumbered. Those are all great questions.
Yeah.
But
I was
think
just. Go ahead.
So the woman in white actually explained, or it's somewhere someone explained a little bit of like where she came from.
She's from another. Julie said she's from another universe, and that like she's here because she doesn't like the universe that they're in, or something like that. Like she just got something against this particular universe. I guess I don't know. But
the motivation is not clear.
But and also like it seems like she's putting these people in actually like life or death danger, right? But like we haven't really seen that.
Nobody has officially gotten hurt, but like
except for whatever happened on the bridge.
There must be some
demolished
deaths, but
a
they have not
bridge.
mentioned any deaths at all.
And like you know, you can only imagine what would have happened had that kid not been rescued from that swimming pool.
Well, they implied that like if the tentacles touched him, he'd just be like gone. But then like the tentacles did
But
touch him,
it did. It like enveloped his whole face.
and she like mathed him out of it.
I'm just waiting for her to give some Turkish delight to someone because I was getting some strong Turkish delight vibes when she was like
I think
rubbing shoulders and be like, "Here, would you have some Turkish delight?"
You're right, though. She absolutely uses that tactic with Iceland.
Yeah. Oh
Iceland.
yeah. Iceland is the Edmund of this book.
Yeah.
Oh.
Throwing it back to Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. Those Turkish delights, which I've had, and they're okay. They're like little jelly
They're
cubes.
not like betray your family for it. But...
I mean, I would.
I don't feel like I only tried it once.
I tried it
was
once,
not
and I don't
good.
think I had a good Turkish
Yeah.
delight.
There's also there's a lot of references to Worse Than Death. Did the dog farter?
Our dogs have just been. It's just been terrible.
I'm sorry.
We had to like air out the living room right before this
I
discussion.
tasted it. My eyes are watering.
Cute little kittens don't fart.
That's
Ugh.
true. I mean, this one does.
Pretty sure that's
Look
not.
at that
Oh,
good
God.
baby.
It's just laying there.
It's in my hair.
Are your legs totally asleep?
Yeah, I can't feel my foot at all. As
He's a
soon as
good
I stand
boy.
up, I'm gonna fall on the ground. My legs are gonna be total static spicy.
Sick condolences. Sorry. Ugh.
One of them got carrots today.
A lot of carrots.
That's all we can think.
Anywho, so
I don't remember what we were talking about.
so the people that manifest or that embody the burrows, it's interesting. Like like, and I guess because I don't know anything about it, but like, what does Queens say about Queens? Like, what does Brooklyn say about Brooklyn? You know, Brooklyn, the character of Brooklyn, I think, is a fascinating one because she's actually like very wealthy and successful.
Well, she's a
she
council
was a
member.
former music star turned councilwoman.
MC free.
She's got 2 brownstones. They're kind of grandfathered. Well, not
she
anymore. And she's got this family, and so it's interesting, you know, kind of what that she's I guess a Brooklyn lifer, but on the other hand, you have like Queens, who is a graduate student, right? Manny is also a grad student, right?
Mhm.
He just doesn't remember what he's doing, and he doesn't
Yeah.
want to. Queens is a
He has
graduate
no idea
student.
why he's there.
Solid in the maths. Staten Island is kind of a homebody.
Yeah.
But Staten Island is like different than everybody else. Like I feel like Staten Island, and I think the woman in white preyed on that. Like she was like, nobody cares about you.
Just like Edmund.
Just like just like Edmund. This is
That's actually a really good.
Uh-oh.
the Lion, the
Yeah,
Witch, and the
more.
New York. But she's also like
Chronicles
kind
of
of she's
New York, yeah.
Staten Island is also kind of like bigoted, you know? Like also like she's like kind of intolerant and bigoted and has like a racist dad or something like that.
Oh, super racist dad.
But
A cop dad too.
yeah, so
Racist cop dad. It's a good combination.
which is interesting because
Oh, Katie Doll can confirm the Staten Island stereotypes.
can confirm. The only experience I have with Staten Island is I watch What We Do in the Shadows, and that's where it takes place.
Yeah.
So there's vampires there.
I was gonna say, yeah, everything I
like-
know about Staten
That's-
Island
that's what I
is
know
really just based on
Aw.
but
Characterization or somebody to embody this, and like, you know, I think we're gonna probably see some Edmund like antagonism from Staten Island, and then you have Bronca, who is, does she run the art center?
Yes.
She runs it with some people. I don't know like where she falls in the hierarchy.
I thought she
She's
ran
very
it, but
anti man bun.
Well,
I mean, justifiably so.
he didn't seem great.
He was not a great person.
did not seem
No
great.
offense to anyone in the book club who may or may not have a man bun.
If you've had a
but
man bun or
maybe you should cut
Or
it.
thinking
I'm
of
just kidding.
having
I'm just
a man
kidding. Just kidding.
but those guys brought in some really messed up art and then brought in their portal painting.
Well, and
Interesting
they were
stuff.
messed up people to begin with.
Yeah. So it's just an interesting mix of characters that are
Mhm.
going to Captain Planet it up. New York, as a homeless man, the whole introduction was interesting.
He was very food motivated.
Well,
It was
Gotta
kind of
love the food.
brutal.
I mean,
and then like, you know, and then I guess we'll find out like what happened to him, and like he's kind of sort of hiding out somewhere.
Well, it said that it said the city absorbed him to protect him, and then he's like onto newspapers, and the rest of them have to find them. But I guess like they feel like they can't find him until they're all together.
yeah, I think they're feeling that their power is amplified the
With
more
their
of
powers
them,
combined.
With their powers combined,
They can locate.
they
New York
can
City.
locate the homeless man.
They can make New York come alive.
But I think they
But New
feel
York
like
is already alive.
he's in Manhattan because Manny like senses it stronger, something like that. Like
Yeah.
They're learning a lot about these powers that they have, and are
We're
taking it
all
all in
learning about it
stride.
at the same time, which is my foot. is
But it's
just
interesting
pulling
that
my
some of
legs
them
this
are
way.
like-
he's fine. He's fine. Okay.
Some of them are like, oh man, I have to do this thing. I really just don't want to. They're like,
I mean, but like
do I have
it's
to?
everybody but Manny. Manny wanted to completely move on. Like he wants a different life. So it makes sense that he's embracing this. And everybody else is like, we have a life and we have responsibilities. We don't have time for this.
Staten Island also feels stuck. Martin's like, I'm not sure why Sao Paulo's in this book. I mean, Sao
don't
Paulo,
know.
Yet.
he's the guide. He's the mentor,
Well, and
the Rufus to their Bill and Ted.
Padmini,
gorgeous.
her aunt was like, you're not doing a very good job.
Yeah,
I mean, she's right. And that was like halfway through the book.
yeah.
Well, and I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like I have all the answers. I want to know what happened to his city?
I assumed that nothing happened.
Yeah, I assume that everything went well. And that's why he's
And he-
able to leave and still be self.
What do you mean by everything went well? Like, were
Like-
they
like
attacked,
it-
or was it just born?
No, it was born. I
Yeah.
feel like, but didn't he say like this is just like what happened to a different city?
London?
Was it London?
I think it was London.
I think his city had no problems being born or whatever.
So then is that their job? Like after if they like fix New York, do they now have to go teach other people about their cities?
But what if
I don't
you're?
know. I feel
mean,
like he's a bigger part of the picture and we haven't gotten it yet.
But like Sao Paulo is the name of the city. Like, what if you're Paris and like Brooklyn shows up? You're like, you're not even the city.
Well, that is a great question though. What happens to the boroughs or the embodiments of the boroughs after they finish this? Like, do they stay the embodiment of the boroughs? Like, are the boroughs needed anymore if they have New York back?
But also New York. That's true, because I mean, New York is very unique in that it even has boroughs.
And we didn't even have the boroughs until New York was absorbed by the city.
Because like if it was Birmingham, I don't know what the Planeteers would be. It would be like Avondale and
Mountain
Presswood
Brook and
Ensley.
Bessemer.
Yeah, what would even that be?
It's like those. Everyone's got those city maps. You know, it's like
Our
your
team would be
city,
big
and it's
because
like this is
Birmingham's
where all the preppy people live, and this is where your drug dealers are, and this is you've seen them, right? That's what we.
Adrian's
have.
asking, would you take on the mantle of responsibility?
Hmm.
I think you kind of have to,
Yeah,
especially when the stakes are so high.
either
Yeah, I
do
feel
it
like
or
you-
leave.
Yeah, you weren't given a choice.
But is it true that if you leave, somebody else just becomes it?
They knew that it was true. They felt that it was true.
Yeah, they alluded to that because it was some conversation with Manny where, or maybe he just knew that, right? Like if he left, that it would just go to someone else.
Yeah.
I forget exactly. The
Yeah.
It's really interesting how they just know things and things just feel right. And going back to Sao Paulo really
It's
quick,
helpful, honestly.
I kind of really loved when he gave Queen's aunt his business card, and she was like, "Why don't you get an American phone?" And what did he say? It was like,
Oh yeah, he
It
said
gives
that
him more power.
the acknowledgement of where he's really from, like, helps him.
Mhm. Yeah, I kind of like that. And that just felt really deep.
I didn't quite understand to kind of tie into that when they're like at the statue or the stone or whatever, they're in the
So the
park
rock,
and
the
they're like
rock.
they're like throwing money.
He's buying. New
Yeah,
York.
he's like buying, but it was like I don't know. It was like a really weird, loose association that just didn't really click. It was just like he's just like
Okay, but here's what happened when I read it, though. I just heard my mom's voice in my brain the whole time that was like, but did they pick their money back up?
Nope.
Be like, we didn't read that part of the chapter. Did he pick his credit card back up? Did they
He-
pick up their money and
he
stick it back in
didn't.
their
Also, it didn't do
Where's their
anything.
No.
money?
Because Sao Paulo went back and saw money all over the ground and
That's
saw
right.
the credit card. And
That's
then
right.
Manny was like, "Oh no, I never did get my credit card back."
Well, that's very un-New York. Like,
No.
I think if you drop money on the ground, someone's gonna pick that up.
Well, but
Oh,
all
yeah.
of the people that were left in the park were like controlled by the woman in white. Remember, they
Yeah.
were all like zombieing.
they were zombieing.
That's true. But yeah, the money thing was an interesting thing, but it didn't do much. It
Yeah.
only like affected like the area of the ground that the money was on,
Oh,
and
'cause
Brooklyn had
real
to come in
estate's super
and
expensive.
save him. How did she save him?
I don't know. I don't remember
Do you remember how she saved
And the
Manny
money?
how.
in the park?
Yeah, how they got.
She
out
was
of the
listening to
park.
the music. She was singing there. She was playing music
Oh,
on
the
the
music. Yeah, that's right.
Remember, because that's like her power. So she was playing the music and squashing and stomping
That's
all the
right.
dingly danglies coming up out of the ground.
Oh yeah, Julie. Manny even mentions later in the book that he needs to call to cancel the credit card.
Ah, that's right. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, so the money
that would
thing.
stress me out so bad.
It's just something I would not. I mean, I guess because they have this insight and this sense. They're like, oh yeah, what if I drop money on the ground? Then I'm buying back New York.
But they have those insights constantly. So I think it makes sense for the story because that's part of the way it works for them.
So, do you love New York more now?
After reading the first half of this book,
Yeah.
I think it would be really cool to go visit New York after finishing this book. Like after reading a book that's clearly a love letter to the city. Because like so people mentioned, like I looked up a map today to look at where the boroughs were, and I've never seen that before. Like I don't know, it's just interesting. It's so big, and
Yeah. One of the
we've
things.
been to like one of those places.
One of the things that I appreciate is like how much research went into this, and just like sort of like I don't know what N.K. Jemisin. I'm sure it seems like she has to have a little bit of experience with New York, but like some of these details are either like they're very specific to New York. Like we're talking like landmarks or locations or streets and intersections and like just places like where they went so that Bronca could manipulate the water and the pipes. Like
Yeah,
that's I was just thinking like, is this a real place that I could go to?
I bet it is.
Like
And
N.K. Jemisin, put it on Google, pin it on Google Maps. Like let's go see where they manipulated the water.
I will say, but that is like a really cool thing. So for anyone who's read through like more books or a decent amount of the Dresden Files, like there is a particular graveyard that is mentioned and utilized in a lot of the Dresden File books, and there's statues and certain grave markers that are very important. And one of the last times that I went to Chicago, my friend actually took me to that. And I've been to Chicago several times, but it was the first time I've been to this particular cemetery. And she showed me all of those actual gravestones and grave markers and statues. And it was so weird because I felt like I knew exactly where everything was. I already knew exactly what these things looked like. And then seeing them in real life was eerie and creepy because we were also in a cemetery and some of the statues were described so well. So I wonder if there's like, I mean, I'm sure reading this book and like already knowing about these places, you identify and you're like, oh yeah, that's so cool. Oh, I know exactly what she's talking about. But I wonder if it's even like stranger after the fact, being like, I don't know what she's talking about. And then you go to New York one day and you're like, oh my God, this is from that part of the book.
This is the book. This is the place.
This is real.
What was the
This
other
is
book?
what
There was another book that we read that was very like city centric, where it was. I think we all kind of wanted to go and see it after we'd read it. I don't remember.
Cards.
Cards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what it was.
Definitely.
One of the questions that I had was about, okay, so you have, they're like what Adrian's talking about a little bit, like how things change, they get gentrified or they get like, Foot Lockers put in and stuff like that. At what point, because obviously like gentrification happens and things change and develop and, knock down, rebuild. And now we have this like Bureau for the Better New York or whatever, which seems like evil. Like at what point in the history of New York does it like stop and like start being like bad progress as opposed to good progress? Like, because it seems like progress in some instances is the enemy here, like change and progress and like newness.
Yeah, you mentioned in the Foot Lockers, like Manny was looking down the street and there were some places that looked really right to him. And then there were like the chain stores that looked really, really wrong to him.
Yeah.
Like
so like
Chili's is bad, but
Foot Locker and TGI Fridays is bad.
Yeah.
Which was at the time when I was reading it, because it was so early, I was like, well, this is kind of pretentious. It's kind of like get off my lawn. But they kind of established this like point at which like it stops being good New York and it starts being bad New York in terms of progress or change or like new developments. So like I've always wondered like where that line is. Julie says it was Neverwhere.
Leanne said Shades of Magic, the different Londons.
Well,
I feel like
one of those Londons I don't want to go to.
I kind of feel like it was Neverwhere too. Like
Maybe because it was so landmark centric with like the statues and
Or Uriah Heep.
maybe that was it.
I would go to some places there.
But yeah, like I don't know. I'm fascinated by the concept of like when it becomes bad change, because like when the hipsters come in and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna like make this a coffee bar where you just breathe in coffee, like that kind of stuff.
Speaking of breathing things in, what is the deal with the cigarette smoke? No spoilers if you continue reading, but y'all noticed that, right?
Nope. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. So first off, we get a lot of info, obviously, about Paolo constantly smoking.
Oh, he's always smoking.
It's mentioned quite abundantly in the beginning, like lech smoke. Okay. But then that interruption. Oh man, I had it earlier. I should have kept it.
Also, what happens when two cities sleep together?
Earthquake?
They become
Earthquake.
New Paolo?
Like-
So York?
Where did the stupid interruption?
Actually, it was a thing in Tunica casinos as well. I know it's not the same thing, but it was awful.
Oh,
We were in
I
Tunica.
think it might
is.
just be a casino thing.
Okay.
It could depend on the casino too. I will say that.
Make a little neighborhood. Hey, Jay's here. Good morning.
Good morning, Jay. It's 2:00
Okay,
in the morning.
there it is. Good grief. Sorry. Okay.
Well, they didn't Sao Paulo and New York sleep together?
No.
I mean, they slept in the same bed together.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But it got me thinking, like, what if they had hooked up? What if two cities hook up? What if two boroughs hook up?
I kind of like the earthquake answer.
Thank
Actually.
you. Okay, so when in the interruption where Paolo is like notices all the people are wearing white and everything's real creepy. Do you remember?
Oh right, because he snaps a picture.
Yeah, and he sees later, and so he snaps the picture and they all turn to look at him, and it's super, super creepy, scary. And then it says he tenses, and as casually as he can, he puts the phone in his pants pocket, pulls a cigarette, taps it twice, old habit, blah, blah, blah. Every 20 sets of eyes staring unblinking at him. He pulls out his lighter, takes a good deep drag, folds his arm, lets the smoke trickle, and it drifts up in clouds. Then it says, their eyes unfocus. Some of them frown and dart glances around as if they've lost something and can't remember what. And then when he backs away, they do not follow.
It's the flashy thing. It's the Men in Black flashy thing.
Mm.
It seems like the cigarette smoke was a trigger of some kind.
Oh yeah, New
Because
York.
otherwise they keep talking about him smoking so much. I think that's something, but I don't know what. And obviously don't tell me. So
I guess we'll
Yeah.
have to wait.
There were
and
some
see.
favors done from one city to the next.
Oh, and Adrian, I can't take credit for the earthquake. I just appreciate it. Talia said that.
The earthquake.
That if two cities hook up, you get an earthquake.
Oh gosh, this is really messing with my head. Because they do like embody like all the people.
Weird.
Everyone who's ever
Is-
lived or died.
Is that a book or is that the Keanu Reeves movie or is that both?
that's-
Pretty sure it's not the movie.
Yeah, I think the Keanu Reeves movie is based on a comic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. But I haven't seen the movie
I have
or read
not
the
either.
comics, but I'm 90-something% sure
Yeah, Adrian says it's the
that
comics.
the movie. Yeah.
Matt, it's called the
Interesting.
flashy thing. Will Smith said it. Did you flashy thing me, Kay?
That's exactly how it went. Yep. Oh, my foot's falling asleep. This cat weighs 80 pounds.
take
No,
him.
he's mine.
Flashy thing me?
Okay. Okay, so y'all saw, I didn't realize, I thought this was a standalone. And lately I've been seeing a bajillion and one
Mhm.
ads
It's
that
not.
this is actually a trilogy.
Oh, the second book just came out this month, right?
Yeah, it's a trilogy in the
What?
making. The second book
Yeah,
just
That's
came
what
out.
AL.com did the article
I
on
don't
her.
read ale.com.
Me neither.
I just work there.
So yeah, like now I'm even more confused because I'm like, I thought this was a standalone, like when we first found out about it, and now knowing it's a trilogy and the second book came out, I'm like, where is this gonna go?
That is
Well,
true.
And is it going to stay in New York? Is my question. Because I could
Oh.
easily go to a different city after this.
Oh, yeah. And I don't know. After I finish reading this book, I might want
Yeah.
to go to a different city.
I know. Like, which city would you want it to go to? I think Paris.
That seems so predictable.
Fine.
Well, okay.
Tunica, Mississippi.
Adrian asked,
I would
along
rather
the same
say-
lines, what other U.S. city do you think could have been represented if not New York? I'm sick of hearing how New York and LA are the only true diverse and wonderful cities
Right.
with soul in the U.S., especially as a Chicagoan. I'm thinking, yes, Chicago, but also D.C., New Orleans, or Miami.
Well, New Orleans couldn't. They
New
that one
Orleans is
didn't
dead,
happen.
apparently.
I think Chicago's a good. Atlanta is a pretty diverse population. When you think about it, it's not like super.
Savannah would
It's
be
so
interesting.
widespread, but Atlanta does have those like distinct.
Miami,
Community.
though. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
I'd
you
be
gotta look at,
interested in
like,
Miami.
These cities that have like still present history. Like New Orleans is a really good example because they like actually preserve their history and their historic buildings and things like that. Like it still looks like it's from the 1800s.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, but
There's
There's a
history.
Yeah, that would just be, oh my gosh, can you
Oh.
imagine? That's the season, the final season of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They all become the city.
Matt. Hey, y'all.
Oh gosh, Pigeon Forge. They're like, yeah, except the Planeteers are like, I'm the comedy barn.
Oh, I scared the cat.
So
I don't know.
let's see. Julie asked, we've seen how each of the boroughs fight the white woman except for Aislinn. What do you think her power / weapon is?
That's a good question. What is her power?
Like, how would she fight the white woman if she had to? Oops, sorry.
We haven't seen any sort of glimpse of her abilities, right? Like
Mm-mm.
it was just like kind of her like
We saw her freaking out.
freaked out on the subway. She was trying to leave Staten Island, or no, the ferry. She got off the ferry because you have to take a ferry to an island.
Let's think. What do we know about her? Other than there's some prejudice we have to overcome.
Yeah. I hope we see it. I hope we get to see what her power is.
That's okay, Ashley. We're all
Yeah, I'm
lost,
sure we will.
and we're drinking water.
I think Staten Island's going to have to make a choice. And they're going to have to be like, please be one of us. And Staten Island's going to have to be like, no, I'll never join you.
Just like Edmund.
Just like Edmund.
Oh, I kind of hope that she doesn't play the Edmund card with that character, though.
I don't know. She's saying that she like has always wanted to, and she's always chickened out, and like I guess, and she's kind of like scared of her dad.
I think it's really interesting that she doesn't even remember her conversation with the woman in white. Like she walked away and she like completely forgot
Who
it.
doesn't?
Aislinn.
She got flashy thinged?
Yeah, she did. She did. I swear she did.
I don't remember that.
Let me look.
Bobby.
Don't
Bobby, baby. It's her
Stop.
words, Katie. What'd she say?
Stop.
She said,
Adam.
I want to drink this. It smells good.
What is it?
It's just ginger ale.
Oh.
The ale of the gods.
Mm.
They were gonna say the ale of the gingers, and I was like, then give it back to your wife.
The ale of the ginger.
She's a little coppery. Give that back. Not.
What are you doing?
I'm looking at your hair.
Oh, I forgot. You can't tell. Did you know that Christy has reddish hair?
But you're a ginger?
Oh, there's
Whoa,
like
whoa,
a
whoa,
reddish
whoa, whoa.
hue.
He's like,
Whoa.
what? No.
no.
It's like her hair has always been green.
Yeah. She's just shades of gray.
For those of you who don't know, Adam is slightly colorblind.
Well, she doesn't remember her
Yes.
name. So she names her Rosie.
Yes.
She doesn't remember the woman in white's name.
Yeah.
But it
She
started
said
with
it
an
started
R.
with an R.
Yeah.
And then the blur of incomprehensible foreign sounds.
And then she
Passed out.
Okay, it doesn't say that she completely forgets everything, but I took it to mean she completely forgot everything.
My thumb's in it.
Like,
Okay,
What?
we're not picking. We would never pick on Christy. We're too scared.
Yeah, I'm a little bit colorblind. Dog's drinking. You know what that means?
It's almost
almost
time.
You know what that sound means? I don't know. But we do have 5 minutes left in the live stream. So final thoughts before we do the book poll.
oh, right, the book poll.
Matt Scalisi, get out of here. It's not funny.
Matt's on fire tonight. Fire, I tell you.
Okay, so moving forward,
Yeah, that
I-
definitely translates to Rosie.
I'm gonna continue.
I bet all the letters are in there.
You make my
and,
upper lip sweat.
I am really hoping it clicks for me soon. I will say that because right now I am having to it is an exercise in patience and diligence. I'm having to shove myself through this book. That being said, I am still very interested in it. It's just an exercise in what's that word when you have to make yourself do something?
Patience?
Tolerance.
I don't willpower. Yeah, a little bit maybe. So anyways, I'm hoping it clicks for me soon because I feel like I should be enjoying this book more than I am, but it's because I keep getting distracted by the fact that I haven't quite clicked just yet. But looking forward to reading the rest. The discussion always helps me.
Yeah.
And yes, Bobby, I am interested. I'm going to I want to hear parts of the audiobook for sure, at least the intro.
Yeah, the intro is really cool.
Yeah, I think knowing what I know now, I think one of the reasons I had to kind of shove myself through the book, as Talia was saying, is because I started it like 2 days ago. So I had to kind of marathon it. And this is not, I don't feel like I can, this is not a fun marathon.
It's not a
So,
fun marathon.
I'm gonna try to pace myself
You mean a
more.
sprint? This book should be a marathon and
Oh
not a
yeah, no,
sprint.
I sprinted through it, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna try
and this
to
is
marathon
not
it more. I'm gonna pace
not a
myself
sprint.
a little bit more in the second half, so that I'm not just like trying to cram it, because I was trying to cram it, and this is a hard book to cram.
Yes.
So yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. This discussion does help some. I'm just hoping that the book helps more.
Yeah. The discussion always helps. So thank y'all for all the great topics and conversation.
Don't leave yet.
Don't leave yet. So I don't know. I'm excited to see where it goes. I hope it's not derivative or I don't know. I hope it kind of surprises me.
I don't
at
think
the
it'll be
end.
derivative just because that doesn't seem to be.
I know.
Jemisin's
I
MO.
just.
So that's why I am interested. I'm like, I have no clue where this is gonna go, but I mean, it's NK Jemisin, so like, it has to go somewhere I don't expect, like, because that kind of is her MO.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm again, just like you guys, I just hope it doesn't just have the ultimate battle and then end. I want a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, on that note, it's time
Oh.
for the December book poll. And as you know, in December, we like to do things a little bit differently because it's December. Everybody's got a lot going on. So in
We have a lot
December,
going
we will be doing a graphic novel.
Yay!
I love
So,
December.
We'll have one book
We have
discussion.
one every year.
We'll have just one discussion for it, and it'll be towards the end of the month. But we'll also do our holiday party as well. That will be the other book discussion. So the holiday party will be first, and then the graphic novel book discussion will come after that. But here are your options. Are you ready? Option number 1 is Sparrowhawk by Delilah S. Dawson.
You may remember Delilah S. Dawson. She co-wrote Kill the
Kill the
Farm
Farm
Boy
Boy.
with what's his name? Kevin Hearn.
Kevin Hearn.
Yeah. So this looks really interesting. I'll just read the beginning of the book description. After a young woman is kidnapped by an evil fairy queen and trapped in a far-off realm, she must survive Teen Victorian Fairy Fight Club in order to get back home.
No, what did you just say? Teen Victorian
Teen
Fairy Fight Club?
Victorian Fairy Fight Club, and these are not the fairies that you're used to. These are like mean fairies.
Oh, interesting. Oh, they got a fight club.
They got a fight club.
So that's option number
Can't
1.
talk about it.
Sparrowhawk. Option number 2, you may have heard of. It's The Sandman by Neil Gaiman.
So
Who?
yeah. Okay, you guys who have read this, I know a bunch of you have. Please chime in and just say whether we should read it or not. Like, this is Neil Gaiman's first thing.
This
I
is
think.
very first thing.
Well, like one of his first things, like, and it's the first Sandman volume, and there's some like mixed reviews, but you kind of have to get into it before you can get into the rest of it. So it might not be a good fit, but we should just talk about it.
Yeah, but that's in the poll. It's
Yeah,
a poll option.
It's a poll option.
It's a graphic novel.
Yeah.
And your third option is Monstrous by Marjorie Liu.
Oh, you didn't Google that, did you?
Did not.
Not.
All
Let's
right.
see. It's a set in an alternate matriarchal 1900s Asia in a richly imagined world of Art Deco inflected steampunk. It tells a story of trauma of war and who shares a mysterious second link with a monster.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so Matt says he's heard good things about Monstrous. People are talking about the Netflix Sandman.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the Sandman is timely, and that's why it's in the poll. But just do your research and people chime in.
So
Do
there you
your
have it.
research on all of them because I had to look up all of them today to make the poll graphic that will go up tomorrow so that y'all can go vote tomorrow. And Monstrous, the art is beautiful. And I was like, ooh, pretty graphic novel. And then I read descriptions and it gets dark. So yes.
Well.
So just it's a graphic novel. So honestly, what graphic novel doesn't have graphic stuff in it? But yes, so that is why it's important when you can vote tomorrow. When you see the thingy, there'll be like little blurbies and stuff. So you can do
And
your
voting
wow.
will be on our website.
Oh, it is?
Tomorrow.
Oops.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but it will be on our website.
Don't look at the Literally Wasted Lounge.
Is that
Oh.
already on there?
Invite me.
Okay, that's fine. We can do it there.
But last time, that's why I thought we were doing it like last time.
I didn't remember what we did last
That
time.
was a
That's
whole
okay.
month ago.
I was
Well,
on
it's all good.
autopilot.
Voting is on the Facebook.
It's
Go to the
Then never
Facebook
mind. Just,
lounge.
it's fine. You'll see it somewhere.
Oops.
Adam, you're good. You're being proactive. More proactive than I was.
So okay, there's a voting link. There's a vote in the Literally Wasted Lounge. We'll put a link in the YouTube community tab also for those who are not on.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do that until tomorrow morning, though.
Oops, it's live now, but don't leave.
Does it have the Goodreads links, though?
It's just a poll.
Okay.
It's just a poll.
Well, I have the
I don't
graphic.
know- I
but
don't
I'm not
know what we
posting
do
it until
anymore.
tomorrow morning.
I don't know what we do anymore either.
Yo,
Okay.
this whole past 2 months has felt like the weirdest
Yeah.
2-week fever dream.
It's a weird fever dream.
Whoops, I messed it up. I messed up.
You're fine. It's all good.
Go vote. So those are your choices: the Sparrowhawks, the Sandman, and the Monstrous.
And we're going to talk about it in December, but don't ask what day yet, because we're going to talk about that later
Yeah.
yeah.
in December.
So, anyway,
Cheers.
we'll see you back at the end of the month for the second half discussion of the city we became. That will be on November
2 weeks from today, the 30th.
30th. Oh, Christine.
He's just gonna go hide in bed right after this.
Good job, everybody. We did it. See you
Thanks
in
for-
2 weeks.
Thanks for joining
sweet.
us. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and also
Yeah.
stay tuned. Stay tuned. This is a really last minute announcement. We are gonna try to do the Secret Santa again. Oh God!
Oh gosh.
What?
Bailey just yacked up some water. I don't know.
Are you okay?
Oh, I was like, which end?
Yeah,
did
it was
that
like,
come
yeah,
out of?
that was
'Cause we heard it.
Yeah,
Ugh.
he's okay. He's okay. Anyway, Secret Santa. Just stay tuned. That's gonna happen. We'll make an announcement sometime soon about that. But yay!
Okay.
Yeah,
Have a
we're
happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we're thankful for y'all.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Oh, he's doing it again.
Is he eating it?
Well, he.
No, just end the stream, Alan.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.